That's $10,000, Connor. Ha ha! Yeah! 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 This show is not for sharpshooters. This show is a fucking machine gun. There's no chewy center to this show. It's all hard candy. This show is not a sniper on a fucking roof. This show is a drone taking out a village. Do not invite me into your house because I will come in and I will wreak fucking havoc. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast, folks. Why Lily's laughing because she pointed at me like to start the show, and I sat here for a good, 10 seconds because I sat in silence waiting because I have to get ready to do this for you folks. I mean, I've been getting ready the entire time I've been here because it is now, 4:30, I think, something like that. I got here at 2. And then Lily and I sat here and we talked about stuff and we put our heads together and we've come up with a plan to conquer the world, folks. It's going to be amazing. No, we didn't. We actually kind of just sat here and wondered why the world had gone away from us and what we were going to do about it at this point. Who knows? We'll figure it out. We've got plenty of time. Look, you can't solve everything in 2.5 hours in a stripper's kitchen, folks. You think you can. You think you can get together in a stripper's kitchen in 2.5 hours? You'll have the solution for everything in the world. But I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. However, we have scratched the surface, and that's good news. Maybe it's not good news, and maybe we haven't scratched the surface. Maybe that, actually none of this is true. I just got here, folks. I walked in the door and I had I fucking tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds on, and I said, plug me in, I got stuff to talk about, damn it. And then I crammed 40 zots in my mouth, and I fucking foamed at the mouth like a rabies dog because our friend Lily, she's dating a guy named FunnyEddie.com. You may know of him. He's a clown. And, I say you may know of him because I talk about him. I mean, it's not like he's famous. He might be. Is he famous? Well, he was famous. He was like a crazy Ringling Brothers clown, right?
He was in newspapers all across the world because he was a bilingual clown. So he would get interviewed all the time.
Clowns don't fucking talk. Why? Who cares if he's a bilingual clown?
Ringling sends clowns out for interviews and stuff like that with the local. He would always go out because he was bilingual.
They do that?
Yeah, there's a whole PR department. He would go do,
But clowns talk with their horns. Well, I don't give a fuck. Does he have a Spanish horn? Maybe he does. No, he's got every other clown's horn goes, and his goes. That's awesome. See, that's what a bilingual clown does. He talks in cucaracha and a fucking horn talk. He has a La Cucaracha horn. That's it. Ringling Brothers knows their fucking market. They know their demographic. Send FunnyEddie.com out there to the migrants and talk to them as they pick limes. Come watch me do a somersault with a parasol. Nobody fucking cares. Those guys in the fucking fields can't afford circus tickets. That's a lot of dough, man. I'm serious. Bullshit. You don't hire a fucking clown because he's half Spanish. Fuck that. You hire him because he's got a smiley face. That's it. You gotta have a guy who knows how to put makeup on. That's why drag queens are all going to Ringling Brothers now. That's it. Go. The circus has changed. The circus has changed, folks.
Best circus ever.
A bunch of fucking crazy drag queens.
Drag queen clowns. Oh my god. Well, that's
Dude,
Drag Race.
we just invented a drag queen circus. We just made. There's our money.
You want to search right now?
How for 2.5 hours did we not think of that? There is an unlimited amount of ticket price you could charge to see a drag queen on a trapeze.
Damn it, they're already.
Bullshit! God damn it! Is there no great idea unturned? Is there no stone flipped over? Jesus Christ!
Spain.
Fucking Spain. You know what? I might have a friend involved in that. It's so weird. There's a comedian from Los Angeles that I met here, and I loved her because she was so fucking weird. Like there was this thing about her. Her name is Rachel Arieff. And then she went to Spain, and she's like a huge star in Spain now. Christ, it was like, she might not be anymore. Maybe she's dead. I have no idea. Spain was having a problem, at last I heard. But I remember like 6 months ago, I went to her website and she's still there. She posts like, and she's, her whole deal is she speaks in Spanish and she's flipped over. Have you looked her up or are you still looking at the drag queen circus?
Drag queen circus.
I'm so mad at that. That would have been a fucking great thing to do. We could have fucking spent all this money, made all this money.
Oh my gosh.
Just fucking bearded dudes tottering on heels, taming tigers. God damn it, we could have made so much cash. Looks like Lucy and Ethel have to go back to the drawing board. What the fuck? Man, our schemes have gone south. They've gone awry. All right. Our schemes have gone south of the border with our friend Eddie and his Mexican horn. Diddle-dee-dee, diddle-dee-dee, diddle-dee-dee-dee. All right. Hey, folks, how are you? I'm here. I'm excited. Let's talk about something I was supposed to talk about last week, something I forgot to mention, forgot to plug. And I think it's still available. I don't know if they took it down. What if they did? What if there was a podcast that only put an episode up for a week and then took it down? I get beefed already because I only have 5 episodes up. People are great. They discover the show, and then they'll write me and they'll be like, dude, where can I get like old episodes of the show? And I go, you know what? Actually, I feel sheepish telling them. I go, you know what? We actually sell the old episodes of the show. And people are just indignant. They're just like, what? You sell them? That makes no sense at all. Yes, it actually makes a lot of sense. It was free for a while, and the early adapters all got them when they were free. And now, if you want to get on board with me, you kind of got to spend some money. I mean, I know it sounds weird. And if you like me, you won't mind shelling out $100. Of course. That's what people want to do. Who's this fucking weirdo? I liked one of his shows. Why don't I buy all of them for $100? But you're missing so much brilliance, folks. I can't even stress to you how much great stuff you're missing if you don't buy the old shows. They're out there. As a matter of fact, we're going to just run an old show now. Hit it. Lily, go ahead right now. No? All right, damn it. I like hit it. Like I look like you're playing a band or you're a drummer or something like that. That's fucking cool. Folks, we're coming to you from Los Angeles, California, where it is beautiful outside. Like I don't even want to do this show, not for any other reason other than I want to be outside, just standing around, walking or breathing. Because, look, I recognize most of the country is having the shittiest weather of all time. I don't get it. In Chicago and stuff out there in the Midwest, it's like 50 degrees. Dudes, it's almost June. What the fuck is wrong with you? Bring the sun back out. What did you guys do out there? You did something wrong. This is on you. Somehow Jesus is punishing you because he does that. That's what I've heard. I've heard he does that sort of thing. And so the Midwest did something wrong. You guys, maybe it's the gay marriage in Iowa. Maybe he's so mad about it, he just said, I'm not taking it out on the whole fucking Midwest. I have no idea how it works, folks. Or maybe, you know what, bullshit. Maybe Iowa is getting sunshine and the rest of you aren't because you won't be with gay marriage. That's the thing. It's so funny. And I love when people say that. There's a running back for the Vikings. His name's Adrian Peterson. He's probably certainly top 5 players in the NFL. And he's the best running back in football. And he came out this week and he said, I'm not with gay marriage. That was the phrase. Because there was a player on the Minnesota Vikings who was adamant about pro-gay marriage, a guy named Chris Cluey, and they cut him, shockingly. They let him go. He was the punter, so who cares? But he was very outspoken. So then Adrian Peterson's like, I'm good friends with Chris, and I recognize that, and anybody can do whatever they want, but I'm not with gay marriage. And I was so disappointed I had to throw away that floral arrangement. I was so... I had to bring the ring back. I had to cancel the flight to Minnesota to propose. Because granted, he hasn't met me yet. So maybe that's why he's not with gay marriage, because he hasn't met me yet. Because at this point, I don't care. I need a trophy wife. Let's get this guy on board.
Oh my God.
And look, I love the irony of any football player coming out against gay marriage. And again, he can believe what he wants to believe. But, you are the one who dresses up in a purple costume every Sunday and gets dry humped by 12 dudes virtually every 5 minutes. Your entire life is a game of gay grab ass, so don't even think that you can go ahead and be above it and say, I'm not with it. You're not with it. I got news for you. You were putting on a sparkly purple outfit every Sunday, and you are fabulously hanging out with like 12 other dudes. And all they want to do is get their hands on you. And then when you're finished, what do? You take a shower with all of them. You're not above the fray, Peterson. Peterson? All right. But see, maybe that's why he's against gay marriage. He hasn't met me yet. He and we'd get along so great. Oh, it'd be so good. Until the sex part, which I don't know, I'd try some of it, I guess. I don't know what I'd have to do. He's rich. At this point, I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I just know I don't want to be here. I don't. It's too nice out. It is so gorgeous. It's Sunday this past weekend. I thought it was the nicest day of the year. It was 75, breezy, not a cloud in the sky. And then I walked out of my house today because I was in my darkened apartment waiting to come and do this. Sitting there staring, just waiting for the clock to move. And it's funny, I keep trying to bump this up earlier and earlier so I can get it done and then kind of live the rest. Because with the summer, you all know, you want to be outside. You want to kind of go out and do stuff and be. So today's my only day of work, and I'll get to that in a second. But so I told Lily, and again, we had to bump it up a day because this is Tuesday. Because Lily, this time tomorrow, Lily will be in her jalopy on her way to Vegas.
Jalopy.
That's right.
Taking my jalopy. Thank you.
You'll be in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and you'll be heading off to Vegas to go and explore. I almost went. I was gonna go. That's how fucking what a coin flip my life is at this point. I almost went to Vegas with Lily. I was gonna hang out with her for like a few days, and then that fell through. And no fault of mine, by the way. Real life interfered and plans collided, and then it turned out I couldn't sleep on Lily's floor. Damn it! Because how many people are in your hotel room now?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
But it's all different nights. That's the weird thing. I have like one person on Wednesday, and then 3 people on Thursday, and 2 on Friday.
And I would have been in there every single night. It would have been awesome. God, it would have been the best. 7? And depending on who you meet at the bars that night.
That's very true.
Yeah, it could wind up a whole fucking crazy daisy chain. That's in. It should always be. It can't have an odd number. It's got to be. You got to get an 8th in there. Yeah. You always have to. Why? There's someone has to sit off and jerk off. Then at that point, if you got 7, that means 6 are involved and 1 has to go sit down. You can have a 3-way.
Parties of 3,
Fuck all that. No, I like go symmetry.
Well, you are not going to enjoy my orgies then.
What?
Often enough.
This is why I'm not coming, obviously. Because I thought I got to be the gopher of this whole fucking outfit. I got to be the Julie, your cruise director of your entire fucking orgy. That would have been fucking fantastic. But instead I get bumped out. I don't get a say in the orgy. I don't get a vote in the orgy. I'm in the room for fucking 6 days. How do I not get a vote in the orgy? And it was funny. Lily said she was going, and I mentioned that I might be going to Las Vegas and kind of made an inquiry about, staying with her or doing whatever I had to do. Because, in the old days, I could get my own room, folks, when I had a life and a job and I had money that I could have to spare. But that all went by the wayside. But I thought I was going to Vegas. So I'm like, hey, can I stay in your room, Lily? And that was also a coin flip. She wasn't sure if I could do that. And then I said, I can drive. Because I have a big car. So I was like, yeah, I can. Because she's driving with it's this fucking rickshaw full of strippers that she's towing to fucking Vegas. And I'm like, hitch your wagon up to my fucking Murano. Let's do this. Let's make it a glittermobile and fucking make the scene. And she's like, nope, my jalopy's full and I'm going to take that. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I got chased off. So I will not be at the Rio this weekend.
Thanks. Tell them where I'm at.
Oh, well, we've talked about that before, that you're they love you at the Rio.
Yes, but you don't have to remind them. As it is, my home phone number rings sometimes.
Should we take this out? Should we take it out? I don't want it to be a problem.
Oh,
Well, you can find her phone number online and call her when she's in Vegas and find out what room she's in at the Rio. I won't say the room number. I can't possibly do that. But
7.
oh my God, you got a good room this time. You're in 7. No hotel has like single-digit numbers unless it's a motel that opens up to the parking lot.
The Bates Motel.
Oh. I tried to watch that show. Fucking Goebel tried to trick me into watching it for his podcast before he went rogue and had his new podcast. And it was grim. It was terrible. I taped it and then I kind of blazed through it. I'm like, this is awful. Just the idea. And again, I'm a guy who loves the idea of going, hey, what if Sherlock Holmes teamed up with Batman? I love those ideas. But then to go, hey, what if the Bates Motel was like in a place that had no clocks, and then for some reason Norman Bates had a cell phone. But then you're just, what are you doing? Yeah. It just kind of twisted everything up there, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like that. I like a mix. I like a mashup. I like a mash 'em up. That's a good idea. But then that one seemed too weird. Like if you had the Bates Motel and then you had Norman Bates and all that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, if Batman showed up to that, why do I have Batman in all of these? That's how limited my imagination is. I guess I don't really like mash 'em ups. I only like Batman mash 'em ups. Bat mash 'em ups. That's what I like. As long as Batman shows up, I'm in. I got to be honest with you. I just saw an ad. Because the summer movie season has done nothing for me at all. I saw Iron Man and I loved it. And I'm seeing Superman and I know I will love that. And I will tell you this, I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing all right, let's put it this way. I'm scheduled to do the Comedy Film Nerds spoiler alert special podcast for Man of Steel. I think I'm scheduled, but who knows where my life is going at this point. I have no idea. I had to tell Graham. It's sad that I actually had to tell Graham. I go, look, I may have a job at that point. And then here's the thing. I'm desperately rooting that I have a job at that point. It's not like it's an inconvenience where I'm like, dude, I might not be able to come and talk about movies in your garage because I may actually have to earn money to stay alive. No, I want to have the job, and then hopefully they can accommodate my schedule, and I can go talk about Man of Steel with them. Although I am looking forward to my first job interview where I go, hey, are you guys going to need me on the week of the 18th? Because I really think I'm going to be in a garage talking about Superman for about 3 hours. Can I get that afternoon off? I just want to go ahead and throw that in your lap right now. I'm willing to work any other hours. However, my friends have invited me to go out to their shed and talk about heroes. Stupid. But it's so funny when you actually take a step back and you look at your life, my life anyway, because I don't have kids or anything, so that's what it's all about. I'm scheduling shows where I can go talk about Superman, and I had to do it 3 weeks in advance. Like, Graham called me. He's like, hey, we just wanted to make sure we booked you for this Man of Steel spoiler podcast. And by the way, I might be telling tales out of school yet. They may not have even announced that. I might get canceled from that. Who knows? But I hope not, because I had a long talk with Graham. He booked me for a few things. I think I mentioned it on here last week. I'll be in Palm Desert on June 14th with those guys, and then I'm at the Improv in LA in July 10th, I think. I'm not sure. At 10 o'clock p.m. I'll be on Graham's show, so that'll be exciting. So get your tickets now. But I don't want to be here right now. I don't, because I thought Sunday was so beautiful, and I walked outside today, and it's 75 the other day with no clouds in the sky and breezy, but then I walked outside today, and it's 81. It's 81 degrees, so it's like got that hint of, there's like that fastball of heat to it, so it's like it's a gorgeous day, and there's a breeze blowing, but it's kind of a warm breeze, and it's not humid at all, and there's no clouds, and it is so gorgeous. I walked outside. I didn't even want to, like, I wanted to call in. I know that sounds stupid. You get that first instinct if you're like, oh, I can't go do this. I can't go to work. And you don't even have a rational reason. Like, it's not like you're like, well, I've got to go do other errands, or I've got to go do other things, or I've got to just stay in my house. No, I wanted to not come in and then go play kickball. That's what I wanted to do. Like the dumbest thing in the world, where you're just like, oh, let's go play kickball. And not ironic kickball. I want to play really good, fun kickball with people. Fuck ironic kickball. I'm not interested. I loved kickball when I was a kid. I was so good at it. Because I was fat. And I could kick like with power. And I had good timing. We played, I went to Ridgeview elementary school. Which then became Irene King Elementary School. Which pissed me off. Ridgeview is a cool name for a fucking military school? Elementary school. Although it's no Roosevelt Franklin Elementary School. I think we can all agree that is truly the best name for an elementary school. But I was at Ridgeview, and when I was in 5th grade, in Mrs. Shong's class. Did I ever tell you that story? I was in with Mrs. Shong, and again, folks, it goes back this far. Like, it goes back even to 5th grade that I didn't do what I was supposed to do, what I was told. I would always not do homework. Like, I just didn't fucking do it. It happened in Miss Jimenez's class in 4th grade. It happened in Mrs. Shong's class. It happened in Mrs. Sealaff's class in 3rd grade. It did not happen in 1st or 2nd grade because I skipped them. That was back when I had potential. I skipped those 2 grades. They're like, oh, awesome, let's put this kindergartner in 3rd grade. Yay! And then I went, oh, I hate this. And then, of course, it all coincided with a bunch of shit at home, so I'm going to blame it on those people. It had nothing to do with me. Everything about my home life changed at that point, which is my fault, truly. But I was in Mrs. Shong's class, and she used to call me Mr. Schmidt. Everybody, because I would get in trouble, and she would say Mr. Schmidt all the time. I told this story on here, I swear to God. Everybody else got their full name. Everybody else was, or their first name. Tony or Robbie or Jessica or Susan. Everybody was that. And then she'd go, and Mr. Schmidt. That was always what I was called. So one time in Mrs. Shong's class, I did my homework. I actually did it. It was done. It was ready. And I had spent so much time not doing any of my homework that she never even called on me or asked me at all. It was like this thing where she was like, yeah, whatever, we know. So she goes through and she starts asking questions and she takes everybody's assignment, and she didn't call. I was so bummed. Like, it was the one time I didn't call, because I was ready, man. I had it. I was ready to go, and I had the assignment. I wanted to go and talk about it or whatever the fuck she wanted me to do. I didn't care. I didn't even know I didn't know what you did. I guess it was the first time probably I'd ever done homework, so I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get called on, and then she didn't call on me. She called me a million other times to embarrass me when she knew that I didn't have it, and I would come up with some bullshit story. And I think that's half the reason why she called on me, is because I had always some bullshit story to get out of it, or some trickery or some chicanery. Because as I've said before, I was a fuck up in school, but I was a delightful fuck up. Oh my God, did people love me? Teachers loved me. It was just like everybody's like, oh, he's so entertaining and awesome. I can't wait to fail him so he's here next year. This is gonna be great. Because I did it with panache, folks. I was a fuck up with panache. That's how you got to do it. I wasn't just some sullen asshole who started huffing glue out of a rag. No, fuck that. I was a fat raconteur. I was a bon vivant. I had stories, baby. I brought it to the table. I had some sort of fucking extravaganza that I would always be able to put on a floor show, and everybody would be like, yay, Mike, can't wait to see you here next year. And I'm like, hey, I'm ruining my future. They're like, we don't care. You're an entertaining motherfucker. Stick around, goddammit. Ha ha, yeah. So I'm in class, and Mrs. Shong is going around and collecting assignments and calling on people and having them explain things, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, motherfuckers, because it's on my table. It is, or not my table, my desk. I had a table. That's how fucking important I was. I had my own table, for fuck's sake. In the corner. I was like the Truman Capote of 5th grade. It was like Sardi's. Fuck Mrs. Shong's classroom. It was my own personal Sardi's. I had a table in the corner. All right. So I was there, and there were caricatures above me of Sinatra. Everybody loved it. I had 4 martinis and a shrimp cocktail before recess. That's right. Even before it, goddammit. I'd get a belly full of shellfish and a heat on before I went out and played some kickball. Yeah! So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting at my desk and I'm waiting for Mrs. Shaw to come up and talk to me and ask me something, anything at all, because I'm going to face her and her fucking tight hair. Because she had her hair pulled way, like, severely tight. Like, it was the first time I'd ever seen any woman who did that pull it back into the tightest ponytail you could possibly do, so where you can't even blink look. You know what I mean? That really severe ponytail. And that was Mrs. Shong, man, straight up. So she's walking through and she totally skips me. And she takes the assignment, she turns around and she goes to start the next one. And I just raised my hand. And she kind of ignored me at first, and then she looks over and I put my hand down because she looked at me, and I just go, what about Mr. Shit? Because I was so surprised in the moment to not have been called upon, and I was so anxious to be called upon and talk. I blew my own name in front of the whole class. What about Mr. Shit? Holding his homework, just like I'm so proud. I could not have been happier or more proud of myself, ready to face everybody from my corner booth as I'm sitting there with Topo Gigio. Oh my God. Hey, what about Mr. Shit? And there's this, it hung in the air. Like, it just hung there for a second because nobody knew what to do. Because I was the one saying, and it wasn't like, and it was a bad word, and it was 5th grade, and it was strange. And I never talked, like, in class, other than being funny or being silly, or when I was called upon. But I had raised my hand. She looked at me, and she didn't call on me. And I put my hand down, and I was indignant. I was mad. I go, hey, what about Mr. Shit? And there's that beat where it's just like, I must have made the craziest face. I know I could feel it. I immediately blushed. Like, my whole face, I got so hot and flushed. I was just like, and I made a face, and, they may still be laughing. I'm not sure. We continued the rest of the semester. I left 5th grade. I went to 6th grade. And all I heard were the echoing laughters through the footfalls as I walked out of the hallways of Ridgeview Elementary School for the rest of my life. I mean, the entire class died, fell out Cosby Kid style, and they're rolling around, somersaults, high-fiving, jumping rope, and Mrs. Shong, too, crying, laughing. Severe ponytail is still in place, but the rest of her face trying to keep up. Tears coming out of somewhere on her head. I don't know where because her face was so tight. You ever seen a snare drum cry? I have. So fucking tears are just pouring out of her face. And it's not even pouring, like, she just looked shiny. It looked like her face just started excreting water from every pore because I couldn't see where her tear ducts were. She had her whole face tightened up, goddammit. Fucking Capote brought them to their knees. 5th grade Capote brought them to their knees. And I was so stunned, like, literally. And then I just sat there. And then she came by and she took my assignment and she put it on the desk, laughing. Everybody laughed and laughed. We didn't get anything done like the rest of the day, the rest of the semester, the rest of the year, for fuck's sake. And the only reason I was not Mr. Shit the rest of the year was because I was a giant fat doofus. Like I was the biggest kid in 5th grade, like that thing. So I was Nelson Muntz pretty much. And so if anybody were to make fun of me, I would have pounded them mercilessly. So they knew that. So that's the only reason Mr. Shit did not stick as a nickname through 5th grade and on and going forward. But goddamn, I loved it. I loved Ridgeview Elementary School. I used to play fucking kickball, and I can feel it now. I can feel the sun. You know that when you were in school and you were in class and working, and they would tell you, not even kickball, when they would say we're going to go outside and have school outside today. Because in the Midwest, that was a huge deal because you'd just be in this gray prison forever, a gray and white prison, and just hating it, and just the winter months and everything's going, and then all of a sudden it started to be spring, and it started to dry up outside, and then even the teachers were just like, you know what, we can't deny this, let's go outside, and you would walk outside with your worksheets and your workbooks, and God damn it, just the feeling, that weird feeling of freedom too, just because you weren't really free, but it didn't matter because the sun was on you. You were outside. You weren't in school anymore. Even though you were doing school things, you didn't care because you were outside. And it was such a great feeling. God damn, I loved it. And even, recess and kickball and all that when we go play in gym class outside. I fucked a kid up. And did I tell that story in here? I think I did. I think I did tell this story because this guy listens to the podcast. Or I don't know if he does anymore. Oh, he might. I have no idea. Hey, did you hear like a crackling noise? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
All right. I hope that hasn't been going. I just heard it in my headphones, but I hope it hasn't been going the whole time.
That's why.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, when were you going to tell me? We're going to write it on the piece of paper?
Okay. If it happens again, if I hear it again, I'm going to go, wait a minute.
All right. Well, you let me know. See, you're already in Vegas. Mentally, you're in Vegas at this point.
I'm not. I'm so not ever going to be mentally
that's right.
ready for Vegas.
That's true. Hold on. You got to get. I should tell you this too. We're recording on Tuesday to accommodate Lily. She has to leave tomorrow. But as you know about me, the day before I go out of town, I'm a fucking basket case. Like and I only have to pack like a shirt. Like literally, I don't bring anything when I go on the road. I bring T-shirts for you guys and a pair of jeans, and then that's it, and my shaving kit. But I turn it into a fucking total production. Well, Lily, she has to go. Because, she's in burlesque. So one night she's a fucking saloon owner. One night she's a goddamn space woman. I mean, she's got to buy all these different costumes and make all this shit and sashes for a bowling team. And I'm like, wait a second. What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, I organized the bowling team and I got sashes for everybody. And we got to figure. And I'm like, holy shit. You don't get to tell me how overworked you are when you're creating a bowling team out of whole cloth and then making sashes for everybody. Of course you didn't, but now you had to find people to make them. Yes, you outsourced them. Good for you. So you still had to round up 15 Chinese ladies and put them in a factory. That's on you, man. That was your choice. You're like, fuck, I got to start a sweatshop before I go to Vegas because I need 12 sashes. So you had to collect like 18 bottle caps and 14 pennies and get these fucking women to work. You had to pretend to be Nike and throw these women in a dark hole somewhere so you can get 12 sashes before Vegas. They're actually in the other room. When I walked in, there's like 15 Chinese women sewing. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing here? She's like, don't say anything. They think I'm Nike. So I just went, hey, ladies, just do it. I came in here to do a podcast. And they're in there. That was the crackling noise, actually. One of them, that's their hands. They stood up to stretch out their sewing hands because they've been sewing for fucking 30 straight hours. And Lily's like, just like, Tung Sung Mao, and slapping him in the face. Diddy Mao! You sew my sashes, Diddy Mao! That crackling noise was them standing up and actually stretching out their hands because 30 hours of continuous sewing has forced them to have the fucking clicking flanges. By the way, the worst band I've ever seen in my life, the Clicking Flanges. Oh my God, terrible.
Oh, God.
Just awful. And I paid to see them too. I thought they'd be good. So, what the fuck was I talking about?
The story from recess.
Dude. I loved kickball because I was, like I said, I was good at it because I was fat, so I had quick kicking power and good timing. Like I was, all right, let's put it this way. I'm not an athlete, but I have athletic tendencies, which means I enjoy showering with men. However, I should tell you What it really means is that fuck that. I am an athlete. Bullshit. I can dunk. Or I used to dunk. I dunked once. I can't dunk at a 10-foot rim. I wanted to. I tried. Oh my God. One time in high school, I just kept trying. Like thinking, I did this stupid thing where I thought if I kept jumping, like I would increase my jumping and then I would eventually be able to dunk. I'm a dumbass. All right. But that's what happens when you're in gym all day. Fuck, I'm lost now. Fat kickball guy. All right, there you go. So I was playing kickball. And I was really good at it, like I said, because I had good timing on it. And the best part was at Ridgeview. God, I remember this. You remember your glorious athletic moments, and I've talked about them on here, where I like when I dunked at Grand Slam. Oh my God, that was the greatest moment of my life. I can't even explain to you. Fuck, now I'm just regurgitating stories. I swear to God, I've told these stories. Or the day when I hit fucking 2 home runs. I hit a grand slam and a 3-run homer over the fence. Like it was the first bombs I've ever hit over the fence, and you just stand there and you're like, I'm a man. But you're not really a man. Who cares? I'm not a man now. All right, I gotta grab myself by the reins here. This is going off the track. Jesus Christ. I gotta get my bees in order. My bees are flying all over the fucking place. Get them into the honeycomb and get this fucking story out. It's not even a story. It's an anecdote. At Ridgeview, when we played kickball, there was a hill. Like, because the playground was on kind of a hill. So I would I remember one time I booted it. The bases were loaded and I kicked it and it fucking flew and it went down the hill. And even fat me got a home run out of it. Like, it was just fucking amazing. So I even went into a trot, like a fat guy home run trot, because, everybody had to run down the hill to try to chase it. And it didn't matter. I fucking trotted around the bases and fucking stepped on home. God damn it, it was awesome. It's so great when you know what, because I never played organized sports, but it didn't matter because everybody has those Sandlot moments when you do something amazing it doesn't matter, it fills the void. You don't?
I never had any Sandlot moment.
Well, you didn't like sports. No, you were fucking twirling around a light pole pretending to take your clothes off. You were all excited.
Majorette, but I hated sports.
Oh, you were a majorette?
Yeah.
Could you do the baton thing? You throw them in the air?
Yes, Eddie bought me one. You know that story.
You can throw them in the air and catch them? Dude, why are you not doing that like right now? If I could do that, dude, I love that kind of shit. If I had a talent, I don't give a fuck. I'd be outside. Why are you with me? You just tell me to get fucked and go out and just throw your fucking baton in the air. I'm serious. If anybody has a weird talent like that, how do you not do it all the goddamn time? Because people would just be fascinated with you. I would go to the mall, like right now, you should go to Hollywood and Highland and just fucking throw the baton in the air and keep catching it. Eventually, someone would give you a dime. It would be fucking amazing. Just go out there, throw a hat down, and just spin the baton around. Why aren't you on fucking Hollywood Boulevard with Spider-Man and Superman? And dressed up in a majorette outfit? Oh my God, here's the way to make money!
Super majorette?
Fuck a drag queen circus. We're gonna have fucking majorette busker. This is perfect. Street majorette.
That does not sound good.
It sounds amazing. We'll put you in the hot outfit with your tits all poking out and you're throwing the fucking baton in the air. And we can make like weird sex routines to it where you grab it and you kind of stroke it a little bit and give like a tongue-in-cheek move and then you throw it in the air. No, this is money. You got to think outside of the box, or actually think with your box at this point, really. This is a vagina brainstorm. We need this. You got to use your assets.
Go back to your Sandlot moment.
This could be yours. Look at you. You could use your training to make all of this money in the future. Because tell me one majorette is making any money off of it right now. Nobody. There's no professional majorettes league. So you know what you have to do? You have to create your own. Carve out your own niche. Take that fucking baton and use it as your knife to carve out your own living. Stand on the street and spin a baton and throw it in the fucking air and catch it and do a spin and show people your tits and make a ton of dough in a hat. Yeah!
Oh my God.
And then I'm going to fucking run by and steal that hat. Ha ha ha! Yeah! The Busker Buster! I start at the top with making a busker, and then I at the end, I ruin your buskering. This is perfect. This is a self-contained busker buster. I start your business, and then I ruin it in the same thing, but I make my own business flourish. This is the only way to do this. We need to get you out on the boulevard. I'm serious. Out on the boulevard. They take it hard.
Oh my
All right. A little Jackson Brown. Throw a little Jackson Brown in there for you. All right. I hope he doesn't come by. I'll take a poke at you. He roughs up the ladies, doesn't he, Jackson Brown? All right.
Oh my God.
He fucked up my friend in 5th grade, Jackson Brown. He came by and we were playing kickball. It's terrible. All right. Keep it down in there, ladies. All right. They're making sashes in the other room. So the point is, I'm sitting here, and I'm trying to get the show started, but I can't. Like I don't because it's Tuesday, and I'm just sitting here doing nothing, and I want to go outside and play. And Lily's just like, you got to focus because I got so much shit I got to do before I go to Vegas, and I got to get these Chinese ladies out of my house. And I told her, I go, look, do me a favor, just take half of them and have them make us ramen. I just want ramen. Tell them to make some cookies and put a note in them. That's what we should do. Let's make a fortune cookie business. I'm so Lucy. Like I have to find a gig, dudes. I have no job, like no future. I'm literally June is gonna make it. I'm gonna make it through June, and then July is a fucking coin flip. I have no idea what's gonna happen. And I'm still taking like gigs. Remember I walked that dog for like 3 days? You know what I'm doing this week, folks? I hope. I mean, although I might be about to burn this to the ground by talking about it. A listener of this show who's a wonderful person. Well, let's put it this way. There's a guy who listens to this show, and he's great. And I've met him a few times. And then his wife, who I've met, is also great, but great in a different way. Like she doesn't, like he listens to the show, so he kind of looks at me like I'm I don't want to say celebrity, but he kind of understands the distance between himself and the talent. Whereas his wife doesn't give a fuck. I'm just a dumbass who her husband knows. So when he talks to me, he's kind of like, hey, and there's like a little, I can tell there's a little, I don't want to say standoffishness, but there's distance between us. You know what I mean? Because he hears me every week and he listens to the show. And so he kind of comes at it from that angle. Well, to her, because she actually hired me to come to dinner with them a couple of times, you know what I mean, for his birthday. You've met them.
Yeah.
I don't want to say names because it's going to turn into a thing, but she just looks at me as like I'm the dumbass who had oysters with her once. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't. Even when we went to dinner, do you remember I was busting her balls when the four of us ate? Because it was like I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you? I'm famous. Like stop." Even though I'm not famous, but at that table I was certainly the most fucking famous person, and you a close second. She's not in the top two. So she does not get to bully me or talk to me that way. I am the goddamn talent. Buy me a steak sandwich and let me walk the fuck out of here. And it wasn't that bad. It was very nice. She's pleasant. So I've actually become kind of friendly with them. And then when all the shit hit the fan for me like 3 months ago, she wrote me and she's like, hey, look, I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry. And as a lot of people did. So good for her. Well, they understand I'm looking for a gig all the time. So she has her own business. So she writes me a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, hey, I don't even want to hear an argument. I'm having an event at the end of the month, and you're going to come and pour wine at it. And I'll pay you this much, and it's these hours. And she didn't lowball me, I'll tell you that. She was very nice. But I don't know, like, I mean, I have to do those things. I understand it. I need the money and everything. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, let's put it this way. Someone who listens to the show and brings me in for that, they kind of see, I think, the value in it because they're like, well, Mike's kind of funny and he's cool and all. But she's just like, I'm going to hire that dumbass to pour wine at my event. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, she doesn't know anything about me other than that I'm a dick, right? Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm not there to be funny. I'm there to pour wine. Can you imagine, like, if I try to be funny? Her whole business fucking gets burned to the ground. So yeah, that's the thing too. Is all she knows I'm kind of like a jagoff. So the fact that she would hire me to come to her business, but she said that to me. She's like, "No, I know you and I trust you and all that." Because I don't know if I trust me. I mean, I do. I mean, I'll shut up and not say anything, and I'll just pour wine to people. But I also said to her, she goes, it's like at a formal event. And I turned it down. I go, look, I know you said I can't turn this down, but I have no clothes to wear. I have nothing to do. I don't know what's going on. If I get a job also, and, well, of course, days have gone by, and I don't have a fucking job. But she wrote me when I told her, I go, look, I don't have the clothes, I don't have anything. And she goes, oh, stop that nonsense. She goes, go out and buy a white shirt and a pair of khakis. It's fine. And, I don't have money for a sandwich at this point. I mean, I'm not trying to sound tragic. I mean, like literally all of my money is budgeted for bills and things like that. So to go out and buy an outfit for your wine party was not exactly on the ledger. And so I wrote, and she even said, and this is my favorite part was fuck it. You know what? I think I still have the text message because I have to read this. Hold on. I got it. I swear to God I have it. Hold on. Now I can dig through my fucking phone. All All right, yeah. She wrote me this is a couple weeks ago, and she's just like, "Hey, do you want to make some quick cash? I need someone to pour wine at a reception at my new office." And then she quoted me the price and for how long. And then I wrote when and where. Also, I'm a fat guy with no nice clothes, so that might be a problem. And then this is her right what she writes back to me. All right, she just goes, "Come on, you don't have a pair of black pants and a white shirt that I will iron for you?" In all caps. As if I'm just this fuck up who doesn't want to put on nice clothes and come and pour wine. I'm being completely honest with you. I don't. I don't have those clothes. No, I don't have a white shirt and I don't have black pants because I don't. And so I wrote back. I just said, nope. I live in jeans and t-shirts, something my lifestyle was tailor-made for until recently. And I'm like, I have real dark blue jeans and another shirt with an overshirt. I mean, I could do that, I guess. You know what I mean? Because, again, I don't want to talk myself out of the gig because she was giving me a lot of dough for what she wanted me to do. And then she wrote me back and just said, "Hey, we're hiring you for the event. It's this day. We saw a shirt you're wearing on Facebook that'll do." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so then I wrote her back and I said, "Thanks. I'm in with one exception. If I find a writing gig or something, I might have to pass. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm grateful for the opportunity. It's just a full-time gig would take precedent. We can talk about it later." And that was a couple of weeks ago. And then, she was just like, "All right." And then she wrote me the other day, because I called her. I actually finally called her and I said, "Hey, look, I just want to make sure that we're fine. Also, you need to tell me what outfit on Facebook I was wearing that you think will work with your reception because I need to know." Because, again, she did the legwork. She went and looked at Facebook and saw whatever I was wearing and said it would work. So I don't want to just show up in something. She goes, "That's not what you were supposed to be wearing." But she genuinely said, "There was something on Facebook you wear that will work." So then I called her and I said, "I need to know what it was on Facebook that will work for your event." And this is what she wrote me back. "Got your message. Everything's fine. We'll call you tomorrow. Don't be a dork about the shirt. Just look put together." I'm the fucking talent. Remember? I don't give a fuck if you're hiring me to be two-fisted with Cabernet and fucking Pinot Grigio or Pinot Noir or whatever the fuck else I'm pouring out. You specified an outfit for Facebook. I'm just trying to follow up and be nice. Don't be a dork about the shirt? Really? So I'm going to show up in a fucking tank top. That's what I'm going to do, goddammit. I'm just going to go out and buy like I'm going to wear flip-flops and a pair of gym shorts and just be like, "Hey, what's going on? Where's the wine?"
No, you're not.
Of course I'm not. Well, it won't have to matter now because once they hear this, when does this air? Thursday morning? And the event is Thursday night. Hopefully they don't hear it before then and they don't fire me. Because if she hears it, she'll definitely cut me loose. Don't be a dork about the shirt. "Oh, okay, I won't." And I'm sure my favorite part is I know her husband is like, "Don't talk to Mike like that. You don't know what he's like." She's like, "I don't care." And I find that refreshing, actually. I like people who hate me. So I'm playing kickball in school. And it was so beautiful. I got, like, when I walked out today, I could feel it. I could just feel that moment when you walk out of the school and you walk into the great, amazing weather. We're playing kickball, and I remember kicking a ball down the hill and doing that. But also, we were on the blacktop. I don't even know if this was during kickball. I've talked about this. Whatever the fuck. I know I talked about this. There's a kid named Scott Palmer. And we were playing on the blacktop. I don't know if it was kickball or we were just playing. It might have been Red Rover. I don't know what the fuck we were playing. But he wound up running over and I stomped on him. I crushed his arm. Like I broke his arm, his wrist. I broke his wrist playing on the blacktop. And this was in 5th grade. I swear to God, I told this story because then I get on Facebook and like one of the first people to contact me on Facebook was Scott Palmer, mentioning that I broke his wrist. Like literally like 30 years later, that's why Facebook was invented. So someone could write me back and go, "Hey man, my fucking wrist still hurts when it rains," or whatever the fuck he wrote. But he turned out to be a nice guy and he has a band. All right, so good for him. So I guess I didn't fuck your wrist up that bad if you're playing guitar. Or maybe, you know what, maybe I go the other way. Maybe I actually made you a better guitar player by fucking your wrist up, Scott. You ever think about that? I'm betting you haven't. Granted, I haven't thought about it until this very moment myself, so I can't imagine you pondering any more on it than I did. But in the dark of the night, in the dark recesses of your mind, when it's quiet in your apartment, you sit there, your house. You might have a house. You could be famous. You're in a band. I forgot all about you. But you sit there right there, and you're strumming an A chord, or you're flitting through a complicated sea, or you're hammering on and you're tapping or whatever the fuck guitar players do. I don't know. Max, chime in here. Whenever you're doing those things, you think in your mind, oh, thank you, Mike Schmidt. Thank you, fat Mike Schmidt, for stomping on my arm when we were kids. You've made it that much easier for me. Yeah. So I like kickball. That's the bottom line. I like kickball and I'll fuck your arm up. All right, good. It's a good thing I didn't mess your wrist up. Your twirling would be all off.
My wrist is messed up because I sprained it.
Maybe I stomp on your wrist. Maybe I fix it and you get to be even more of a better twirler. Look at that. Even more of a better twirler. Somebody needs to stomp on my throat so I speak better. That's my key. That's the key to making anybody better at anything. Step on them. Yes. Get a fat kid to step on you. You'll be fantastic whatever you choose to do. We got to get a fat kid to step on Tim Burton. That's what we got to do. I saw today that they're remaking one of my favorite movies, Abominable Dr. Fives, with Johnny Depp. And I saw Johnny Depp was going to be in it. I was so excited. Abominable Dr. Fives, if you don't know what it is, it was a series of movies when I was a kid. And Vincent Price was the Abominable Dr. Fives. And somebody ruined a surgery and they killed his wife. And so he went after them and he killed them all with bugs. Like this amazing, like he killed a guy with grasshoppers and he killed a guy with rats. One of those things where he brought the plagues of Egypt on people. He did that sort of thing. And he also had a skull face. He had a normal Vincent Price face, but then he would take it off and he was a skull face because he was in an acid accident or something like that. I don't remember. That's a lie. I do remember. I remember every moment of it because I watched them every time they were on. The 3:30 movie would have Dr. Fives week, and I loved it. To this day, I love it. And so I saw today Johnny Depp was going to be in the Abominable Dr. Fives. I'm like, that's fucking amazing. I'm in. And then I read the article, and they're like, Tim Burton is real. And I'm, oh, no. Jesus Christ. Will you guys just break up already? Please. You would think Dark Shadows, and again, I love Edward Scissorhands, and I actually liked the Willy Wonka remake. It's not as good as the original, but all their stuff, Beetlejuice, all of it, fine, good. It's amazing. Not Beetlejuice. What the other one I'm thinking of?
Beetlejuice was good.
But Johnny Depp's not in it.
Oh, Edward Scissorhands, Willy Wonka.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Who cares?
The whole point is we need a fat kid to step on Tim Burton because he's ruining shit. It's terrible. Johnny Depp does not need a fat kid to step on him because Johnny Depp has proven that he can be good on his own. But when you get those two together, they're just fucking trouble. They're just bad news. Dark Shadows should have been enough to make them go, you know what? We need to reevaluate this entire fucking thing right now. Right? Alice in Wonderland 2 should have been, although you liked that. Didn't you see that and you liked it?
I hated that.
God damn it. I don't get it, fellas. What are you doing? Just cutting a swath through everything. Like, if Johnny Depp wants to do that, that's fine. If Tim Burton wants to produce it, maybe. Because if you're going to do that movie, make it a horror movie. Make it a crazy horror movie, like really fucking dark. And, Johnny Depp can be in it and be super dark. Oh, I liked Sweeney Todd. By the way, and that's Tim Burton, right? And Johnny Depp?
Yeah, that was the last one I liked.
I like that movie. But I mean, I'm predisposed to like it because I like the play. That was one of the first plays I ever saw, but I didn't see it as a play. I saw it on TV, like on PBS, with Angela Lansbury. Yeah.
Awesome.
That was great. That was amazing stuff. And I was like, oh man, I love this. And then they said they were making the movie. And at that time, when I heard Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, I still had good thoughts about that. I'm like, yay, that'll be fun. And then it was. I actually enjoyed it. But then they just I don't understand it. It's like they just decided to. I don't know if they have some weird thing now where they think anything they do is good. I can't figure it out. And again, I'm nobody to talk. I'm sitting in a stripper's kitchen babbling. I mean, who the fuck am I to say anything about anything? I broke a kid's wrist in 5th grade, for fuck's sake. That's the extent of my creative output. This show, and I broke a kid's wrist in 5th grade, so his band is great. That's all I've brought to the world of entertainment. The Tonellis are really good, and me. That's it. And I'm responsible for both. That's right, Tonellis. I'm responsible for all your success and any of your skill, because I stepped on Scott in 5th grade. I was talking about something when we started. Wasn't there something I started launching into when we got in here? It's too nice out, folks. Lily and I want to go twirl batons and play kickball. That's what we want to do. Don't say you don't. You know you do. That'd be so amazing. How do you not wear a majorette costume? Get these Chinese women to fucking sew you a majorette costume right now.
I still have mine. And it fits.
Folks, we have a recent development.
Bad.
You still have your majorette costume from high school? Why aren't you wearing it? and that's the royal. Why aren't you wearing it like all the time? I don't mean just this moment. How are you not wearing that majorette costume all the fucking time? It's like, there are girls that we went to high school with. They were cheerleaders, and they, are pom-poms. And I wonder if they, I do, because I mean, I'm that guy. And I wonder if they have their outfits still, and if they wear their outfits. Like there was this girl, Michelle Dwanch. I've talked about her on here. Just I don't know what the fuck. Michelle Dwanch was just, and I don't even know why. Like, because there was this group of chicks, and you were like, oh, all these chicks are pretty hot. And Mary Bailey and everybody was hot. But dude, Michelle Dwanch for some reason did it because she was a fucking redhead, and she was thick. Like she was she was built like a thumb, like a little kind of like a. She was like a dwarf body, but elongated. How do I put? You see dwarves when dwarves are like they have those like big fucking like turkey legs, like and that kind of thing. Oh man, dwarf, because that's what dwarves look like. They look like a Thanksgiving turkey decided to get up and run out of your house with a little tiny suit on. A dwarf was like a turkey jumped up and said, "Holy shit, I better put a suit on and get the fuck out of here." And then it donned a fucking 1930s suit and it ran out. And then it wrote a story about the Hindenburg. But that's what Dwanch looked like, man. She looked like a fucking like a tall dwarf. Like she just and so I look. I jerked off plenty of times to these girls when I was a kid, of course. There was a woman named not woman. Well, she sure looked like one, but it's funny because there are girls I can't find because now with the fucking YouTube, with the YouTube, I'm an idiot. But with with Facebook and stuff like that, you can kind of find anybody, and then you can get that thing where you go and look at them and you're like, wow, they look awesome, or holy shit, what happened to you? But there are girls that I'll look up, and you'll find them. Like let's put it this way, I found Michelle on accident. Like she came up in my stream somehow because a friend that I know wound up going to her wedding or something and put the pictures up. Like I didn't even have to go searching for her. She just showed up and I knew when I saw the picture who it was. And I went, holy shit, that's real. That's still happening. God damn it. It's still amazing. And so then of course I was like, I wonder if she's got to wear like cheerleader outfit. Although I don't know if has a dwarf body anymore. She might have gotten taller. I have no idea. But it wasn't a dwarf body. She was packed, man. She had like a backyard and like thick thighs. Oh god damn it. I just mind the fucking gap, folks. Oh boy. All right, so just want to fucking bang your dick into a wall. All right, so yeah, I gotta shut up. What am I doing? These people are real. I gotta stop doing that. I do it all the time where I'm like, holy shit, I used to jerk off to Carrie Paddock's ass all the time. Wait a minute, that's a real person. You can't say that, you dumbass. And she was dating my buddy's brother. My buddy's older brother, but it didn't matter, man. Her jeans in world history, like when she walked in jeans, I don't. All right, look, ass in jeans, hot, amazing. We all know that. But when she walked in her jeans one time, and I was just like, clung. Like, I mean, it was like Barb Blumenstein, also another one in jeans. All right, I gotta stop saying names. All right, folks, I gotta hate fuck something. I gotta snap out of it. Jesus Christ. We're at the point at my house where my socks are furious. They're so mad at me. They're like, what are you doing? Enough! Waiting for Benson and Stabler come to go through my fucking sock drawer.
Oh my god.
I don't have a drawer. I don't have a dresser. I don't have anything. God damn it. All right, so. Anyway. I don't even know how I got fucking sidetracked to that nonsense. Oh, yeah, you. Why is it not on? All of this talking I've been doing, you could have donned it at this point.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. We got to do that. Dude, let's schedule a live show. And all right, here's the thing.
Are you dragging me into this?
If I schedule a live show in L.A., we'll do it in L.A. because, I mean, we can't travel because neither of us is fucking mobile at this point. Except for my glitter rickshaw full of strippers. If I scheduled an LA show and I actually did stories, like I told stories, would you wear your majorette outfit and tour your baton?
Only if I can open the show and I get an and credit.
Of course you get an and credit. You get an executive producer credit.
No.
Oh, dude, reminds me. Let's talk about this for just a second. A guy, it might have been Blake, someone else, a listener to the show, or a guy named Jim. I don't know who it was. Somebody on my Facebook wall put up David Lee Roth did a movie. Did you see this? They put it up on my wall, and then Pat Francis also put the same link up a couple of days later. But I had seen it already when the initial guy put it up. David Lee Roth made like a short because he's in Japan now. He lives in Japan, or he lives here. He's got his mansion in Pasadena, but he's been living in Japan because he's supposedly boning some Japanese chick. He's monstrous in Japan. Holy shit. You know who else is big in Japan? Michelle Dwanch. Not that big, but still big.
Oh my god.
Um, she was huge in Oz too. Oh my God, was she big? All right, so, God damn it, these people. But so David Lee Roth makes this short, and so someone because I've been listening to his I've heard his podcast.
Oh god.
David Lee Roth does a podcast now, and he's basically dubbed himself the historian of Van Halen, and he also talks about. I mean, you know, he's me, like, but he's famous and good looking. You know what I mean? Like and rich. He's that guy. Like he's everything I would hope to be verbally, but also he's a little crazier than I am. Like I still have a narrative and a through line. Said the guy who can't remember the first thing he started talking about when he fucking started the show. But it's funny. I was on. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Oh, fuck. All right. Here's what I was talking about. I was gonna plug this. I did a podcast with Gio, superfan Gio from the Adam Carolla show, and his friend Lax Dude, and they host a show called Pod Gods. And yes, it is named after a sketch that was on this show. We talked about the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network, and then we had the Pod Gods, and it was Parker and a different guy. And then Gio contacted me. He's like, "Hey, we're going to do a show where we reviewed podcasts. Can we use the name Pod Gods, like with the Z and everything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead. That's fine." As long as you don't fucking bury my show, that's the last thing I want. All of a sudden, they take the name and they go, "Ah, well, that Mike Schmidt show's fucking terrible." But I'm lucky, and that's not the case. Gio really likes the show. So they've been trying to get me on as a guest, and I couldn't do it. But then finally, I was able to do it a couple of weeks ago. I recorded the show with them. And so I did an interview with Gio and Lax Dude. And I think it was on that show that we were talking about influences and things like that. And I said, I love language, and I love anybody who speaks at length or at verbiage, and that's why I loved wrestlers as a kid. I loved wrestlers, and I loved David Lee Roth, and you know, anybody like that who could talk always fascinated me. And so that ties us into David Lee Roth. So anyway, go download. It was episode 54 of Pod Gods, I believe it was, episode Urlacher, and that's available now, I think. Still, I don't think they took it down, but it should be. I think they've already put a new one up, but I'm in episode 54. And subscribe and get all of them, I guess. I don't know if it's any good. I don't even know if the one I was in was any good. But I know Gio and Lags Dude are good guys, and they were really nice to me. And I had a really good conversation with them. Gio is, he's a super fan of Adam Carolla, a self-proclaimed super fan, and he's been involved with their show, and he's put up a bunch of their audio, and he's done a ton of stuff for them, archiving things. And he's always approached me with ideas, like to do stuff for the show. And I always politely go, "Oh, Gio, that's a fantastic idea." And then we don't talk about it ever again because I have my own ideas of what I want to do. But his ideas are good. It's just that I don't think they would work for me. But as much of a super fan of Adam Carolla as he is, he seems to be that for me too. He's kind of a champion of us, and he talks about Lily and I, and really does his best to get everybody to listen to the show, and I can't thank him enough. So go download that episode of Pod Gods because it was a good conversation. I did his other show, the Superfan Geo show, and that was a 5-hour show a million years ago, and that was crazy. But this one I think is only like an hour, and it's the majority of it is me and him talking. And he told me he didn't edit much, and I don't know, but who cares? I mean, I trust Gio. He's not going to make me look stupid. I can do that on my own. But so getting back to David Lee Roth, you know, he's kind of an influence in that he was a guy who always talked in circles and was able to do stuff like that, and it was fascinating to me. So it just was funny that then people put this video short up on my wall, and oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. And again, I don't begrudge him doing things because what the fuck? If you're fucking 60 and you got all that money, go create shit. Because I'll tell you what, as bad as if you watch this short, okay, and it's set in Japan, and he's an assassin, and he comes in, and there's 3 dudes, and even the stilted dialogue between these guys is so poorly written. It's so bad. He couldn't even get a 5-minute short correct for musical, lyrical, because his lyrics are great on albums, but then to write dialogue is so much different. And so these guys try talking, and then they're taunting him, and they're talking back and forth, and it's always the same thing over and over. They keep saying the same stuff. It's just bad. It's so bad to watch. But my favorite part is then you watch it, and at the end, it runs the credits, and it says, "Original story, David Lee Roth." And good for you, Dave. However, I can be honest with you. Original story, I watched this short twice. I don't think either of those words apply. This is not original, and there was no story. Not at all, period. The only story is David Lee Roth was bored. That's the only story that could possibly applied. It's so bad. It's terrible. And but I will tell you this. All right. As terrible as silly, as inconsequential as this 5-minute short is, I am in possession of something so much worse. So much worse, featuring David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth did something called David Lee Roth's Big Ass Backyard Barbecue.
Yes!
I think that's the name of it. I don't remember exactly, but I have it. I have it on DVD because when I was working at Funniest Pets and People, there was an editor named Mark. And I hit it off with him. He was a good guy. Went out to lunch a couple of times, and I'd see him in the hallways and stuff. And he'd come hang out in the writers' room. That's the case. Whenever I work at a job, you would get guys who worked in the regular parts of the job. They'd want to come hang out with the writers because we're funny. And Mark was funny too. He was a good guy, so he would come hang out with me and Mike in the room. And I don't know how it came up, but he mentioned I think I had a Van Halen screensaver because I'm 5. Like the first thing I do when I get into a new job is I change the screensaver to something for me because I'm so stupid. Oh man, you know what we used to do at Starface? Because I used to always change people's screensavers. All right, it was like people would go to lunch and then they'd come back and then there would just be a vagina or something like that. Just that would be their screensaver. It would pop up. And Kevin Sesha used to do the same thing. We used to fuck around with everybody all the time. So Sesha, the best thing I ever did was he went to lunch once, and so I went to his computer and I went into his Word, his Microsoft Word, and I substituted fuck for the.
Oh my god!
So whenever you would type the word the, it would autocorrect it to fuck. So he's writing jokes, and it's coming. So it was I was really proud of that one. That was one of my favorite ones. Because again, when you're typing your jokes, you don't look. You know what I mean? You're not really reading along. You're just typing. Yeah. So then finally it finished, and it autocorrected the those to fucks. But that made up for what they did to me one time, and this is fucking hysterical, and I still have it. I would wear a wristwatch, okay? But at my desk, I'd always take it off because I would lean my wrists on the table, and it would just sit there, okay? So one time I didn't even notice. I worked all day, and we go to leave, and I turn around, and there's a watch cut out of paper, construction paper. And it's just sitting there. Like it's my watch, exactly the same colors, the same face, the same band, but it's completely made out of construction paper. They stole my watch and they replaced it with that one. I'm like, and I actually went to grab it. I'm like, what the fuck? And the best part is they're like, we've waited hours for you to notice this. We did this at like 10 a.m. It's 7. What are you doing? I never even noticed it. Not once did I notice it. That there's a construction paper watch where my watch should be. Never said a fucking word. God damn, it made me laugh. What a great... And I still have the watch. I have it at my house. I actually took it home. It's on my fucking corkboard above my desk. So Mark, he shows up and he's talking to me one time, and I'm sure I had the David Lee Roth screensaver or something. And he's like, oh, man. He goes, I worked with him. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, I worked with David Lee Roth. I said, on videos? He goes, no. And all right, before I get into that real quick, I should tell you, I love Van Halen and I love David Lee Roth, and Pat also likes Van Halen, but my friend Pat is a psychopath. So there was a thing called the Van Halen news desk online, and they had a forum, and then there was a thing called the David Lee Roth Army, the DLRarmy.com. It's like a real place. And their whole existence was making fun of Sammy Hagar and Van Halen and hating them. But then anytime there was a rumor that Dave might be coming back, they'd go crazy and they'd all jerk each other off, hoping it was going to be true. And so I would go there and read the forums because they would crack me up, because it's just these people who have no lives. Like their whole life depends on what David Lee Roth chooses to do. I mean, they're just that. And also it's the David Lee Roth Army. So they give themselves all these fake ranks. Like you join, like you can be a private when you join, and then you move up to major or corporal, whatever the fuck you are. So Pat joins the DLR Army forums, and he chooses his own rank. Like he just jumps the gun completely, and he starts posting, and he's just being a dick to everybody, because he's the dose of realism they need. Like, you know, they're all like, stupid fat Sammy, and they're saying all this stupid shit, and he would jump in with like logic, and they would, fuck you, man, and they would fight with him constantly. They hated him. They hated him so much. So they would talk about like the big ass barbecue, and they would talk, and Pat and I are like, we got to see this big ass barbecue, but I didn't want to spend. It was like $20 you can get at his website. So I'm like, I can't fucking spend the money. I go because I know it's going to be atrocious, but it'll be funny. So Mark, you know, years later, comes into my office, and he mentions he worked with Dave, and I said, on what, on videos? And he goes, well, no, he did this thing in his yard. And I'm like, holy shit! Are you talking about the big ass backyard barbecue? He's like, yeah, dude, I did that. And I'm like, you edited it? He goes, I worked on it all the time. He goes, Dave, with David Lee Roth, he was in the office showing me how to cut it and what to do. Like he was so hands-on about it. I go, you're fucking joking. And he goes, no, I have a copy of it if you want it. Yes! Oh my God, of course I want it! So it was one of those things where he kind of forgot about it and stuff, and I never did, but I didn't want to be a dick about it. So every couple of weeks I'd be like, hey, you know, if you, I would love to get a copy of that. Just if you remember. He's like, oh yeah, I got it at the house. I just got to dig it out. I got so many, you know, DVDs and discs. And so I just forgot about it finally because I got tired of asking for it. And then a couple months later, he walks in and he just goes, hey, and he hands me a DVD. He goes, there you go. It's Dave. And it's, you know, he wrote on it, and I'm like, oh my dude, I thank you so much. I can't wait. I wanted to play it at work. He goes, you know, I don't know why you want to see this. It's fucking crazy awful. It's like so weird. And I go, I can't wait. That's what I want. So I went home that night and I watched it. And I was gonna have Pat come over. But I couldn't wait. I couldn't fucking wait. So I watched it. And
Look on your face.
well, have you ever heard of those Japanese cartoons that give people a seizure when they watch them? This is the live action version of that. It is.
Oh my God.
It is just David Lee Roth with the Dom triplets, these girls from Playboy, and midgets, and the Jungle Studs, like all of his friends, and it's like he surrounds himself, and he does this on purpose. And I think it's the thing that I hate more than anything. Like I've told you, I hate people who get high. I don't care if you want to get high. That's fine. The problem I have is the people you wind up hanging out with when you get high. If you want to get high, that's fucking awesome. Like I talked about Goebel in Portland. I'm like, if Paul wants to smoke out, go ahead. But then I got to see him talking to a shaman and a guy with hair down to his waist and Gallagher. That's like the conversation you have when you're high. You talk to a guy with a shaman robe, another dude with hair down to his waist who's talking about fucking girls in the street, and Gallagher. That's your crowd. My brother Lenny used to get high all the time, all right? This is when he was working for Little Caesars and he'd get high. Well, but he had this guy named Steve Foote. I've talked about him on here before. Steve Foote would ride his bike over to our house at midnight and bring Lenny a fucking dime bag for free Little Caesars pizza, and then they'd smoke out and eat and then and watch TV and veg out. And I hated Steve Foote because the ironic thing about Steve Foote, he had a limp. It drove me crazy. Like I almost wanted to go, is that part of your character? Like you're Steve Foote with a limp? Is that it? But he was so creepy, and he stunk of like just fucking bong resin and BO, and just, you know, that's who you wind up hanging out with when you're fucking getting stoned all the time. And not really. Look, you may have a crowd of people that you know, you may be the most erudite people in the world, and you all get stoned in a library and talk about Proust. I don't know how the fuck you live your lives, but the guys I've seen who hang out, like my mom would get high, and then inevitably there would be Mike Carnett, who is a prison barber, and all of a sudden he's hanging out with my mom. Quit tagging my mom, weird prison barber. Get the fuck out of here. Go get, and also prison barber with the worst haircut I've ever seen in my life. Awful, awful. And a little pencil mustache. Oh, dude, I don't want a guy with a pencil mustache working my mom. Get the fuck out of my house. Hated him. Hated Mike Carnett. Oh.
Oh my God.
But that's why my mom we'd wind up gravitating to these assholes. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And then the next thing you know, the man's agents are storming my house and Dale's about to jump out the window. That's crazy, right? Although I like Dale. Dale's a good guy. All right. By year 2, you'll know what that story was about. So I'm watching this fucking thing, and it's all Dave and these misfits. Like he just went and got a ton of misfits, and they built, like they put a tarp on sticks in his backyard, and then they went underneath, and there's a black light. I can't even describe to you how bad it is. It is repetitive music and colors and lights. Honestly, I bet you could show it to a child and they would stay fascinated for hours. Like you put a baby in a crib and show it to him, and he'd just be like, "Yeah, okay, that's David Lee Roth with the Down triplets." It's just like Light Bright with David Lee Roth starring in it with three buxom chicks in bikinis. And that's the thing. You're constantly waiting for the bikinis to fall off or someone to get nude or some weirdness to happen, but it just doesn't. It never gives itself over to completely acceptable weirdness. It's just that kind of weirdness where you're like, what the fuck? Who thought this was good? Who put this out? What made you decide that this was the way to go? And this is years ago. This is years ago, David Lee Roth. And now, the only thing I can say is that he's still fucking terrible, but at least he's only putting it out in 5-minute increments. Because that previous disc, I think that's 2 hours long, the backyard barbecue, of people running in fast motion, dressed in fatigues. I'm not even kidding. And then in between segments, there'd be like Dave leaning on the car from Panama, like the red car, and he'd just be telling you a vignette about something. Yeah, when I grew up here, and he'd talking about his, weird nonsense. And then they cut away to a 41-minute music video with just colors and people on a tank. I mean, it's just fucking strange. So I guess Dave with bad dialogue and drinking strawberry milk in 5 minutes is an improvement over that. The thing I take away from that is somewhere between Dave's big-ass backyard barbecue and David Lee Roth in Japan assassinating 3 guys who have no business having a conversation, somewhere in those intervening years, some fat kid stepped on David Lee Roth. He just didn't step on him hard enough. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can be our friend David Hernandez, who does all the artwork and the music for this show. You can be his friend at Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. And also, we have a producer of this show. Her name is Lily Von Stupp. She's a good friend of mine. And if you'd like to be her friend on Facebook, go to Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. And you can follow her at 3 different social media. No, I think I always lose track. 2 different Twitter accounts. Yeah, she got so many. But the ones that I know of for sure are Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp and Twitter.com/MNTs. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out why she described herself to me earlier as the first soup can, you can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Oh, I'm Vic.
And I'm Vinny.
And we're the Screw Brothers.
Screw Brothers.
We had an amazing weekend playing at the House of Filth. 2 dynamite ladies were joining us. Sabrina Vitale from Canada and amazing Amity Armstrong from the Bay Area. And guess what?
Guess what?
They canceled.
Yep.
Yeah, so we still got all their DVD titles on sale. Stuff like
The Erotic Adventures of Lady Puddleback.
The Bukkake Horror Picture Show.
The Girl with the Dragon Vagina.
Labia Lapping Lollygaggers.
Return to Boner Mountain.
Ass Burrito.
And as always, first 25 people to come in and mention the 40-year-old boy get, I don't know, something sticky.
So remember, come on down this weekend to the House of Filth. Man, women will break your heart.
That is sure will.
But also remember that it ain't filthy.
Broken. What? Unless it's screw filthy.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Those are the cross streets, folks. Right there, kitty corner from the Army Surplus store, and right behind a taco truck, you will find the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. And it's a building. It's a nondescript building. From the outside, certainly, it's just brick and iron. But on the inside, it's a magical wonderland of female flesh every Monday night at 10 o'clock p.m. It is the hottest burlesque show, the longest-running burlesque show, certainly the greatest burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles, nay, all of Southern California. And I happen to know the producer of that show. She's a good friend of mine, and she listens to all of my nonsense and tolerates it and does whatever she can to get through it every week while her back is stiffening up. Her friend is me, and my friend is her, and you are we, and we are us together. That's right, she's the walrus. I'm talking about my friend Lily Von Stupp, who is here right now. Hey, Lily.
Hello, Michael.
How are you?
I am good.
See what happens when you talk with no brakes? You just kind of spin off into a fucking Beatles car accident. That was ugly.
That was awesome.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, you holding up your wrist, your knee, your back,
Yes.
your pussy, and your crack? Everything's all right? Well, good. I don't know. That's where it went. You're the walrus. What do you care? Certainly. So, how was this week's Monday Night Tease? I was there. I was there.
You tell them.
It was a fantastic show. It was enjoyed by all. I will tell you this, folks. It was my first as the doorman, as the acting doorman, as the reigning doorman over there at the Monday Night Tease. It was the first time I ever thought I was going to have to hassle with somebody. First time I ever thought I was going to have to jam with somebody. Well, I did not because they chose to remove themselves from the scene. But I was all ready. I had fought that guy twice in my head before the whole thing fucking came crashing down. So luckily, he wound up getting himself off the premises. As I was working the door last night, folks, let me tell you this. I'm a pleasant fella. I like being nice. I hand out different colored wristbands. I use a marker to mark off names. I collect money, and I smile. That's how I do it. I want to make sure everybody feels welcome because we're all there to have a good time, right? Well, that's fine, except when someone walks in and starts swinging their dick around at everybody and trying to pretend like there's some sort of big shot. That's not going to play with me at the front door. I mean, certainly I'll smile and I'll give you a different colored wristband and I'll still cross your name off and take your money, whatever I've got to do. But I'll make a mental note about the fact that eventually I'm going to have to chicken wing you and run you out the back fucking door. It was a guy, a party of four. He's just kind of a douchebag. And that's exactly what it was. It was four douchebags, one guy in a bow tie, but not in a nice way. Like I like a bow tie. I think it's a good look if you're wearing a suit that matches with it. But he was just a dude with like a shirt on and a bow tie, and his shirt was untucked. He was just a dud. Yeah, just a dud. All of them.
They were just coming from the place where they all got the stuff, and they're getting stuff from every place they're going, and I got this tie of that.
Having a scavenger hunt, and everywhere we go in Los Angeles, we're getting something, and we're going to show it to our friends later. And what can I get from you guys? And where can I sit? Hey, take care of me. Give me some better seats, and I'll take care of you with some cash. Oh, God. Oh, my God. You are not important. I appreciate you trying to be important. And I'm in a position now where maybe a green president would be important to me and I could find you a better seat. Unfortunately, I don't run the show. My friend Lily does, so she's going to find out where you're sitting.
How funny would it be if you started taking tips to seat people?
That'd be great.
I say you start doing that.
How about if I take tips to seat people and then I go, all right, you got to see the majorette over there and she'll take it to your table. Dun, 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 bum, brr, fucking whistle and a fucking baton.
I was just trying to give you a way to make extra money at the door.
No, let's do it. I want.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Every tip I make, I'll split with you if you wear that
I
outfit.
don't want.
Yeah, you do. We both need the money. All right, so the Monday Night Tease was great. It was a fun time. There were dancers galore. Our friend Jezebel Thunder was there. Our friend Vivi Triple went ahead and performed, and she did the count number, absolutely. And then at the end of the night was the Tulsa Skull Swingers.
Yay!
Showed up to do some fucking damage, and that was our friends Craig Anton and what's the bass player's name? Amit and Ron Lynch and of course Blaine Capote, who are all extremely funny guys and also talented musicians.
Very much.
As we saw last night, and rocked it until like 1 a.m. They played just long enough to make sure I couldn't go to In-N-Out Burger. Thanks, fellas.
You could have left early.
Fuck that. I got to watch that to the end. They were awesome. And they kept, and the best part was, it's fun to watch guys having fun in the moment and then also deciding on the fly to keep going. Because Lily, the Skull Swingers just kind of had the run of the joint after the burlesque show. And Lily's not going to shut them down. If you want to play till 2, go right ahead. It was great. And there were people who hung out to watch the show. And so they were, the best part was on the fly. You know, it's kind of an improvisational music thing where they have actual songs, but then Craig will have fun with it and Blaine has fun with it. It's really funny to watch.
Hysterical. They're all funny.
They're great. Exactly. And then they'd finish and then they go, you know what? You want to do another one? And Ron Lynch would pretend that he didn't.
His character kills me.
Yeah,
It kills me.
it's totally funny. And my favorite part is Blaine is like, ladies and gentlemen, Elliot Gould, which is fucking great. And he goes, I'm not Elliot Gould. And he goes, yes, you certainly are Elliot Gould, ladies and gentlemen. And then he bows and he waves and he sits down. So fucking funny. All of it was great. And then so they wound up killing it. And then they just kept in the moment going, well, let's do another one. Let's do another one. And they did Bloodshot and a couple other songs. And they just kept playing. Yeah. And because you know what? As long as people are there watching it and digging it, why wouldn't you keep going? And then they did. And they played over an hour and 15 minutes probably. Yeah. It was great. And that was the longest set they'd ever done. I think they said. I don't know if they meant that, but they were being,
I think that was part of their shtick.
Well, no,
but. It may have been the longest single set they've ever
Well, yeah, but no, I'm saying afterwards, once they'd abandoned once they were no longer the Skull Swingers and it was fucking Craig, Ron, and Blaine, they were talking to the crowd and they were like, yeah, that's the longest set we've ever done. Because they had some guests, too, who came to see the show. And they were discussing, because she even said, one of them said, that's a long set. And he goes, I think it's the longest we've ever played. So, and it was great. It was so fun. So I had a good time at that. And now you're off to Vegas.
Yes, 6 days.
6 days in Vegas. Good Lord. That's amazing. So you're back Monday?
I come back Monday afternoon.
And then there's a tease that night. Are you going to not be there?
No, I have to have everything done before I leave. So I'm ready to go.
So you have to get ready for the Monday Night Tease on today, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you're preparing for that like 7 days in advance, as well as getting your Vegas trip ready.
Yep.
Why am I still here talking?
I have no idea.
You should have told me.
'Cause you're funny.
Well, sure, but because you had mentioned possibly me, because I said to you, I'll just do a clip show. We can throw something up for you, and you're like, no, I can handle it. But now I feel bad because eventually, no, because Saturday afternoon you're going to go, holy shit, where's my sock? And you're going to remember that was the thing you forgot because I was here talking all night.
It's no big thing.
All right. Well, I hope not. Well, I will tell you that the listeners are very happy that you gave of yourself to make sure that there was a show this week because there could have been no show. But let's talk about next week's Monday Night Tease because I am really excited for next week's Monday Night Tease. I would go to this show even if I were not working. I can tell you that. It is an international flavor
Oh, it is too.
of Monday Night Tease. There are some, I understand there's Australian people coming. Is there a special title for the show or is it just the International Burlesque Hall of Fame weekend
It's the
celebration?
Beehoff show. We do it every year.
Burlesque Hall of Fame. Let's stop calling it Beehoff because that just does not lend it the gravitas that it needs.
Well,
It's
I'd
the
rather
Burlesque
call
Hall
it
of
Exotic
Fame.
World, because that's what it was and will always be to me.
It's Exotic World Weekend.
Yeah.
All right.
So it is the international festival for burlesque dancers from around the country. It happens in Las Vegas, and a lot of them travel through LA then, and sometimes even up to San Francisco. Because, I mean, if you're flying to the States from Japan, you want to hit a few cities and have some fun.
Sure. Well, this is the same sort of thing that happens with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
When in LA, because they do it now at Club Nokia, and this just happened this year when they were inducting people into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, those bands were in town, so Public Enemy put together a show at the House of Blues, and I will tell you this: I was at that show, and I'll tell you about it next week because I keep kind of putting it off, but I will share with you my tale of Public Enemy next week. But yeah, so they were.
My tale of public.
Sure, they were in town for the Burlesque Hall of Fame, so that's what. Or, I'm sorry, not for that. They were in town for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Which was
So,
the best inauguration I think I've ever seen.
oh sure, I don't.
That was my Flavor Flav.
That's pretty good. Hold it till next week. So that's what happens is these girls come to town for one event and they're like, well, fuck, we're here, so we might as well hit a bunch of venues. So you've got coming to town next week. You've got who's from Australia?
Tiffany Blue.
Tiffany Blue will be here from Australia. And has she been at the show before?
She has been with us once before. I'm delighted to have her back.
I recognize the name. And then, but there are newcomers to the show.
Yeah, Violetta Beretta out of Hawaii. It'll be her first time with me. Ginger Twist and Tiny D are both in town from New York. I've got locals. I've got Nikita Bitch Project and April Showers performing. And then I've got Miwa Rock out of Japan. And I have 3 of the Murasaki Baby Doll, which is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life.
This is incredible.
They're a Japanese burlesque troupe that look like living cartoons.
Nice.
They're amazing.
Who's hosting next week?
Patrick the Bank Robber will be hosting. You're jealous, aren't you?
Extremely. I would actually like to host that show.
Sorry.
That's fine. Well, that's okay. The ladies don't know what they're missing.
Yeah. He's hosting, and Nikita hopefully will be translating because there's a lot of people of Japanese
Descent
here in this.
or even Japanese citizens who might be coming over for it. Yeah.
But also Nikita is tied in, and she's working with the burlesque festival that will be happening in Japan, and she does a lot of cultural translation across. So she's going to be there as the ambassador of the Japanese burlesque festival as well. So
Nice.
it's pretty freaking awesome.
She owes us.
She owes you.
She owes us. Everybody else.
She already paid me.
Oh. I'll have to hear about that someday. But well, she owes me in the show.
Oh yeah.
Because it was listeners of the show who went ahead and voted for her, and I want to congratulate you guys because you got her into the Burlesque Hall of Fame fan favorite, the Burlympics, the fan favorites, right? So she was not in, and then I put the call out to you guys, and you guys responded, and we got her in.
She got the Schmitty bump.
Yeah, she definitely did. And you think she got it, or she's going to get it?
I don't know.
But I can tell you that thank you guys for doing that for her because she is a friend of the show and she's very nice and she owes us. And I look forward to whatever story I get out of that. Literally, those 3 words, she owes us. Who knows what could come from that?
Oh boy.
but I can't wait to tell you about it as soon as I'm paid back. So she'll be there Monday. It's an amazing show. It's a ton of out-of-town performers, and I have to tell you, I'll be there working the door and stuff, and I'm always there to say hi. And we've had people who've listened to the show who've come out. But if you're going to ever try the Monday Night Teas, if you've ever in your life said, you know what, I should get to that show, this Monday is the time to get to this show, because it is going to be the best of burlesque from all over the world coming to what is the best burlesque venue in Los Angeles. And I can't stress it enough. I'll be there. Lily will be there. All these amazing performers will be there. Patrick is a guy who I think should be hosting every week. I mean, he should be your main host, because he's a classy guy. He lends an air to the proceedings that it needs. He makes it more than it should be. So good for Patrick, and I'm excited that he's going to be there. So come on out this Monday night to the Monday Night Teas for the International Burlesque Festival celebration, I would guess. The weekend festival celebration. Who knows what you want to call it? But we'll call it Exotic World Weekend, and it's tying it all together on Monday night. So come and check out all the international performers from Australia and from Japan, and also people from as far away as Hawaii, which is not international, but certainly might as well be, because I've been there, folks, and it is full of Japanese people. So they'll be here. Everybody from New York, it's exciting. Come out to the show this week, the Monday Night Teas. Tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com, and you can always go to mondaynightteas.com for information about this show or any upcoming shows that may be coming in the coming weeks. And I'm going to be hosting. We don't know when. I was going to be hosting in June, but it turned out the date didn't work. So hopefully I will be there soon, and we can all do that together, and it'll be fun. But come on out this week, see what it's all about. Say hi to me at the door. Watch Patrick and the Hot Girls, and say hello to Lily, and we'll all have a good time this Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine, 10 o'clock p.m. Remember, you can go to facebook.com/the40year-old-boy and be my friend. And while you're there, you can be David Hernandez's friend at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez, and also be Lily Von Stupp's friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. She will add your friendship within a year. But David and I will probably take a lot shorter time to do it, because I just add everybody. Although I will be honest, I've stopped adding people at 3 in the morning, because that's usually some Russian who stole some model's photo and then threw it up and decided to make themselves a fake profile. This has happened actually twice. I had been able to escape this, but twice in the past 3 weeks, I've had people go up and throw shoe ads and perfume ads and diet ads up on the West Side 86 Jokers, and that hadn't happened to me ever. So I had to whack those people and kick them out. But go ahead and join the West Side 86 Jokers fan club page if you would. I'd appreciate it. You know what? I go in there and I lurk, and I do update, and I do talk to people and stuff like that. Right now, there's nothing to update. Hopefully I'll have some stuff in the future to tell you guys, but right now we have the live stuff on hold. But there is still stuff available over at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. That is always available at the Joe Business page. First of all, if you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, in the upper left-hand corner, there is a little Schmitty with a donate banner underneath him. If you click on that, you can donate to the show. $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, or $25 a month. Or you can give a one-time donation to the show, and that will be much appreciated, like our friend Mim Crow just did yesterday. I'll throw her name into the mix, because that's right now fresh in my mind, because she donated last night at like fucking 3 in the morning. So maybe Mim Crow is a Russian with a fake model's photo, but I don't care, because she came across with some actual cash, so good for her. Hey, fake models that are Russian, go ahead and send me real money, and I'll plug you all you want. Also, at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, on the Joe Business page, that is where you go for all things Mike. There are T-shirts, only Red Boy T-shirts and only certain sizes. It's actually a mess. I shouldn't even tell you about the T-shirts. You know what I need to do? I need to write an actual blog post to tell you exactly what's left T-shirt-wise, because we're down to single digits in a lot of them. And there are also some previous city T-shirts available, so maybe I'll do that. I'll write yes, that's right. I'll write an actual blog entry. I was going to say injury, a blog entry at the Hey What's Happening page on MikeSchmidtComedy.com, and that'll run down all the shirts that are available. But on the Joe Business page, there are some Red Boy shirts. There is artwork for the show available. And if you've ordered artwork, again, as you know, the great basement flood of 2013, the great guitar-wrecking basement flood, has put things on hold at artwork headquarters with our friend David Hernandez. But right now he thinks he's kind of spinning out of it. So we should get the artwork shipped to you guys as soon as we can. He's going to sign it, send it to me, and then we will sign it, Lily and I, and we will send it to you guys. So anybody who's ordered artwork, please hang tight. Thank you so much. I have your orders. Please know that they're on the way. While you're there, you can also buy the Schmitty Comes Alive download, which was me live from last year's 2012 LA Podcast Festival. And also, there's the For the Life of Schmitty single available, which is from this year's interlude. And there are Zazzle.com mugs, Thorgar and Yeep and Fire, but for a very limited time. as I've mentioned, which is basically as soon as Mex gets his basement straightened out and I can realize when I can take them down, when I get permission from the boss. Also, tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds are available right now. You can buy those. Go to tweakedaudio.com/40 and buy earbuds. And also they have, I think they were out of cock ring watches last I checked, but still autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds are available and always will be. They just sent me a package of parkour and then some new ones with an inline mic, so I might have to try those. Thank you so much, Bruce at Tweaked Audio, and everybody there, Peggy, all of you people over there at Bruce or at tweakedaudio.com/40 for helping us out and sponsoring the show. We do appreciate it. And also, folks, year 1, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, and Year 5 of this show are available as download sets individually, or you can get them all together as part of the UN of Evil box set. You can get the Evil Dennis, the Woj, the Schmitty, the Jimmy O, the Mex, all available individually or together in the UN of Evil box set. $25 each, or you can get all 5 for a solid $100. That's right, 5 for the price of 4. Available now at the Joe Business page. Go ahead and order those. Get them sent to you. They've got my liner notes, special note to you guys, got the interludes included. So all of those available. And as I've mentioned in the past, tweakedaudio.com/40 is giving away earbuds to anybody who buys Year 5. And also they're giving away 2 sets of earbuds or 1 set of earbuds and a 50% off discount coupon for purchase of anything on the website to anyone who buys the UN of Evil set. Well, there was a number. We were giving away to the first 46 people. We've still got a few of those left. So if you want to buy Year 5 or buy the UN of Evil box set and also qualify for earbuds from tweakedaudio.com/40, that would be great. Go ahead and buy it, and then I will confirm your address, and I will send it to them, and then you will have earbuds. It's great because you'll have earbuds to listen to me to. It's like a complete, look at the symmetry, folks. Look at the packaging we brought to the forefront here. Remember that I was on the Divided by Zero podcast. I think that's still available in the iTunes store. I did the Geo and Lax Dude podcast, Pod Gods, which I mentioned earlier, also available in the iTunes store right now. And now I need to let Lily get her stuff together for Vegas. She needs to get everything squared away. You need clothes. You need, what do you need? You need a wrist wrap. You need some, well, you got the Chinese ladies are still furiously sewing away to get those sashes complete.
Sashes and crowns are all ready to go.
What? They finished while I was on a break?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, folks, in between me ending the show and then starting this final ramp out, apparently the Chinese women have finished. So what are they sewing in there now? I see them still busily working. What are they? Oh, they're, really? Red boy shirts? You did not have to do that. I didn't even think you could understand English, and yet you hear me talking and you immediately start. And the best part, I just said that 2 minutes ago. They have 100 Red Boy shirts stacked up and ready. I don't know if I can. That's a knockoff Chinese version. Oh, it's not. Oh, it says Lead Boy. All right, so that makes sense. Haha, they're Chinese.
Awful.
It is terrible. So I was working the door last night for Lily at the Monday Night Teas, and this girl comes in, and she's alone.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, usually it's like, because usually when a woman comes in and she's alone, she's a performer type person. But this girl came in a skirt, and she looked pretty good. And so and she was real friendly at the door, and I checked her in. I crossed her name off, and I gave her a wristband. And I was very careful to put it on in a very gentle way, because I got to get across the fact that I'm a good guy. So she goes, and I told her where she's sitting, right in the front row, and she goes and sits down. And then all during the show, I would look over, and she was looking at me. And so I'm looking at her, and I should tell you this, folks. I have no idea what that means anymore. That could mean, oh my God, who's that monster at the front? Or, oh, I really enjoyed the way he put that wristband on my wrist. I would like to see him put more restraints on me at some point.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know what it means. Because, again, I have no game. Everything's gone. I mean, I'm 20 years in mothballs. I got no fucking idea. I'm the end of Thriller, man. I'm punching myself out of the grave. That's what's happening right now. So I don't know what's going on the surface world anymore. So she comes up to me as she's leaving. And I'd looked at her a million times. And every time I'd look, she was looking at me, or she was looking at me. I was looking at her. And when one time she walked out to the front bar, and she made sure to stop and say, I'll be right back, and show me her wristband and smile. And I'm like, So again, I don't know signals. I know nothing about it anymore. But then as she was leaving, she got up to walk out. And she stopped, and she took my hand. Like, she put her hand in my hand. And I looked at her, and I go, hi. And she goes, I had such a great time. And I go, well, thanks, man. I'm glad. Come back anytime you want. I go, is this your first time? She goes, yeah. And I can't wait to do burlesque. I said, what? She goes, yeah, I really want to do burlesque. That's one of the reasons why I came here. I wanted to see it. So I saw it up close. Now I know I can do it. So I want to do it in the future. Do you think I can? And at that point in my head is when I realized she was crazy. Because she was asking Goofy Doorman if I thought that she could do burlesque. So she had just enough of that low self-esteem to where I thought I had a chance here, but also just enough that crazy to think it would be worth it for me to take a shot. And I'm like, I go, yeah, that'd be fantastic. You'd be so good at burlesque. Because I don't fucking know. What do I know? And she goes, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm glad you think so. I can't wait to do it. I'm really excited. And I said, yeah. And she goes, all right, so I should start doing it pretty soon. I can't wait to come here and do it. It's going to be really fun. And like I said, I knew right away, she's fucking bananas. Like she's spinning off the planet, man. But I'm trying to humor her. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to be really great. Oh my God, she's a lunatic. Like she's really a lunatic. Like it was fucking crazy. And because I've seen enough crazy. I know crazy. So then she's like, oh my gosh, yes, I can't wait to do burlesque. Do you think I can do burlesque here? And I'm like, fuck yeah, you can do burlesque here. Of course you can. Take your clothes off now, weirdo. Let's fucking see it. Take that dress off and spin it above your head like a fucking lasso. I'll carry you out to the goddamn car on my shoulders. Let's do this. Let's be a goddamn burlesque master blaster. I want to do burlesque too. You get naked and I'll fucking carry you around the goddamn room. And we'll hang out while the skull swingers around and you'll just be fucking nude the whole time. Let's see it, crazy. Let's play fucking crazy poker. Whip out your fucking straight flush. I want to see it happen. Take your goddamn clothes off because I think you can get this done. I'm firmly in your corner. You know, do burlesque people have managers like wrestlers have managers? Because I will be your fucking grand wizard. I'll be your precious Paul Ellering. Get your fucking clothes off and do a spin, and I will point at everybody and go, yeah, check this out, motherfuckers. She can't wait to do burlesque. Look at her doing it right now. Take your clothes off now, weirdo. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it was fucking insane. I'm human lunch meat. I'm nobody. I'm baloney in pants. God damn it. Why do I think I'm somebody special? Why do I think I'm anybody interesting? I'm not. All I bring to the table is everything that everybody else does, but louder. Don't hit snooze on me, motherfucker. I am a hilarious noise machine. I'm going to tell you this. You need to sit down and reevaluate your life if you can pull 2 midget Indian wrestlers out of your skull at any time. You know what? I don't even need you people here. Seriously, I do this. I love me. I don't give a fuck what you think, how you think. God damn it, I'm the greatest. I can't go for Schmidt. No, no. No can do. 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 No can do.